Alrighty, so this is the P3 review for, P5 review for Witch Doctor. Alright, starting items, 2 clarities, that's not great, so 1 clarity wouldn't be terrible if you just wanted, you think there's going to be a little bit of time to get some mana regen. 2's unnecessary. 1 set of Tangos, that's not good. You should have 2 sets of Tangos. Mid. So mid has Tangos. There's 2. Okay, you gave Drow your 4th Tango, so that gives her 7 total. I don't think she's going to need that. Hopefully Drow doesn't go through 7, but really she needs a salve more. So the Ring of Regen is not excellent. So if you're going to buy the first component of your Tranquil Boots, it should almost always be Windlace for the movement speed. So there's a pretty good kill threat in your lane. So at level 1, it's probably going to be favored towards the Treant and the Bloodseeker. Treant's going to use his slow, he's going to get Vines level 1, Bloodseeker's going to have Bloodright. They're probably going to slow and nuke you together. That's a lot of damage. The Tree is going to out-trade you. Tree does like twice as much damage as you do. It's like 100 base. I think it's like one of the highest base damages in the in the game at level 1. So he's going to do twice as much damage, so you definitely want more regen here. 4 mana regen items isn't terrible, but you don't need that many this early in the game. So this should definitely be another set of Tangos or a salve. And then really you should be getting a Windlace and then probably Sticks if you have any extra cash just for your magic wand. You should definitely be going magic stick, magic wand. Alright, so you TP down to block. That's good. So you have to be careful with this block, because if the enemy team doesn't block at all, then it actually ends up in your tower. It's really good for them, but for some reason it looks like they're also blocking. So they're just giving themselves worst positioning. Range creeps are fighting here, so you gotta help secure this one right here. Okay, so what happened there was, because of the way you guys blocked, the range creeps basically started to die at the same time. So for whatever reason, both of you guys blocked your melee creeps. So the range creeps hit first, which is actually kind of fortunate for you guys. Drow is unfortunately, kind of stuck in a conundrum where she has to decide what she's going to do. So between these 2 creeps, you want to deny this one, and Drow wants to secure this one. And so what you're doing right now by clicking the Bloodseeker is not helpful. So you right-click the Bloodseeker, you dropped him down, 20 whole health, so we went from 720 to 698, so you did 22 damage to the Bloodseeker, which is basically worthless. If you build that up and you get a lot of those over time, then that's fine. It's going to be helpful, but at this point, you're not building up 5, 10 right clicks on the Bloodseeker, so that's not very useful. But the Bloodseeker was able to turn around and hit that range creep, and really you need to be using your spell to do that. So it looks like Drow is prioritizing denying the friendly range creep, which is fine. It's in a really safe space back here. It's hard for the Bloodseeker to come up on it. If he does, he's going to get double stunned. But you should really be using your Paralyzing Cask level 1 to interrupt the last hitting of a Bloodseeker. So the cores are going to try and last hit. You don't have a lot of kill potential. Drow is not a big kill potential carry here. She wants to just sit here and farm. This positioning generally in the lane is fantastic. She's close to the tower. She's close to getting the regen. I think she's actually getting the regen buff right now. And so you just want to use your cask to either stun the Bloodseeker right before he's about to get a last hit so that he misses it, or secure the range creep last hit yourself. And so you could either throw this cask onto Bloodseeker and then right click the creep, or you can just cast the stun on the creep and then hopefully it bounces the Bloodseeker for a little bit extra damage. And that 75 damage that it does is going to be a whole lot more than the 20 damage you do, because he's got 8 armor and you're doing a whopping 50 some damage. So yeah, you're doing 20 damage with the right click, whereas you could have dropped 75 minus 25% magic resistance. So it's a lot better, not only because you're messing up the Bloodseeker, but because Drow really needs that range creep to get her experience. And so the more of those that Bloodseeker can deny, Drow's going to have a worse game here. Alright, so that's enough of that. Alright, so he surprises you out of the trees, you back up, that's good, nothing special. Yep, no reason to waste the cask there. It looks like you quick bought another Mango, so that's kind of interesting. There's really no need for that. Okay, so you're going to miss this deny up here. That's a shame. You started to go for it, which was the right thought, but finish that deny. Okay, it was good that they didn't take that from you. This is the right idea to go back and pull. So basically this entire game, Drow wants to stay real close to this tower here. The rest of the enemy team wants you to play up on this high side because the more space they have, the more they can chase the Drow down. Looks like he's going to, yeah, so the tree's going to interrupt your pull here. So you don't have a Coiling Blade. You can use some tangos when you get light to go back here and try and do a further back pull, but that's not really necessary yet. What you do want to have is a sentry to block the hard camp. So the treant hasn't tried to pull the hard camp yet, which is good. You can't stand there and fight, yeah, so you gotta move immediately. So on this one, as soon as you start trading with the tree, you got to get out of the way. So it's really important. When he casts this line of vines, you cannot walk down along the vines. You have to cross immediately. So what you can do is you can run over here and then eat this tree and get back in your lane, and that's fine. But by walking through the line of trees here, the tree has an orb of venom. So you're taking 2 right clicks, which are about 100 damage each. Okay, 91, whatever. Which your armor's 2. So you're taking 2 right clicks plus a couple seconds of the tree vines, which is a good bit of damage. Whereas you could have just sidestepped the whole thing, gotten right to here. So there's like a little empty space here. It's kind of hard to see sometimes, but there's like a little L shape right here. So there's this straight path through the trees, and then there's also like a little right angle corner. And if you eat this tree here, if you eat this tree, you can cut back into the lane and then get to safety. But you don't want to run along it because you're basically giving the tree a lot of free damage. So you take an awful lot of damage here. Yeah, right there you're still kind of walking along it. All right, now you're out. But now Bloodseeker has Thirst, and you got to get Tango, and you're super low. Still haven't sent this Mango out, so I guess you're probably hoping to get a Windlace. Good stun. Okay, so that's a waste of Maledict right there. Okay, so at that point, it was good to stun and let Drow get an extra hit or 2. And the stun itself is worth, 75 damage, but casting the Maledict is very low value. So the 7 damage or something, so you get, maybe 70, 80 some damage on them, that's really not worth it. You need to save the Maledict for actual combos. Even though you got, a boatload of mana regen, there's no reason to waste it early, because the threat of using it is more important. And the other thing I would say is when you're level 2 and you only have 1 point in each, it's really important that you cast Maledict first. So when you Maledict beforehand, you get the extra bonus burst from the cast, because this gives you that 16% burst, but you really need it with the cask so that you get that extra 75. Otherwise, you're just basically maledicting and then trying to right-click, and then all you're doing is bursting down 2 right-clicks worth of damage. But, as we saw in the beginning, your right-clicks are doing only 20-some damage. Drow is probably the same base numbers as you, yeah, 61 to your 59. So you're both right-clicking for about 20 damage on the Bloodseeker, which is pretty lousy. But if you maledict first, and then, well, here, let's do some napkin made-up math. So let's say you throw your Maledict, that's 75, plus a right click, so that's like, so this is 75 times 0.75 for the magic resistance, plus your 20 damage for a right click. Okay, we'll be fair, it was 20, I think you did 22 damage first time you did a right click. Drow was probably going to do like 23 because she got so much more damage than you, plus the Maledict damage, which is 7 times 12 over, it's like 7 damage for 12 seconds. So that equals, what does this equal? Copy that, put in our handy dandy calculator. Invalid input. Okay, well, I'll just do it in Google then. Okay, forget calculator, screw them. Put it into Google, and that gives you 180, is this, oops, 185.25, which isn't bad. But if you cast Maledict first, then, let's see, what does that come out to? Maledict first would be the 7 times 12, whatever that was, plus the 75 damage right click, plus the 75 times 1.16 to the power of 3, because you get 3 ticks, plus your 22 times 1.16 to the power of 3, plus Drow's 23 times 1.16 to the power of 3 equals, how much does that come out to? Oops, shit. Come on, Google. That comes out to 346. So if you cast Maledict, and we're assuming you each get 1 right click each, if you cast Maledict second, By my highly inaccurate numbers, you're doing 185 damage total, and that's assuming you and Drow each right-click once, and then the Maledict just ticks out. If you do Maledict first, and you both get one right-click, then you're doing 346 damage over the lifetime of the two spells. So that's a lot a difference there. So level 1, it's really important that you go Maledict first, and then you stun right after the Maledict. Now the problem with that is obviously you need to land it. Because it's, oops, I get rid of this now. Because, really, I'm just going to have that number there for the whole time. Okay. I'm just going to, there, cheated, I saved it. So, if you are trying to cast the Maledict first, you basically have to get it in a small area because there's a small cast range. So really what you want to do, and it's best on a melee hero like this, is when Bloodseeker comes up to last hit this creep, because he's a melee hero and he doesn't have any sort of attack range extenders, he basically has to stand in, this tiny little, where is my damn, can't click off, there we go. He has to basically stand in, still on, sorry, this whole thing is new to me. He has to stand sort of in this area, and so basically Bloodseeker's going to run up to the creep, he's going to try and hit it in this area, and he has to be close enough that he can hit it from there. And really that's the moment when you want to drop your Maledict, because you know, damn it, I'll redo that. We know that the Bloodseeker's going to come up and try and right-click him somewhere in that area, and that's really your chance to drop it. And then as he's right-clicking it, you're basically trading 1 CS on a creep in order to be sure that you get your Maledict combo. But again, that's worth, what, 350 some damage, so it's a huge thing. Alright, we'll beat that to death. Let's go back to the lane. Okay, a couple good free hits on the Treant, that's nice. You should eat a Tango, so you're low health, you're missing more than half, and you have a Tango. So eat one right now. Yeah, that right click on the Bloodseeker, whatever. Eat a Tango, why are you waiting so long? You should really eat one of these Tangos back here, because that way you can walk through the tree line to get back to your spot. Alright, so right now you're not doing much, you're just kind of sapping Drow's experience. So you should be back pulling. So like that was a chance for you to pull off a nice single pull here.
That's good.
Wade pushes back towards you guys, that's nice. If you get a stack here, that'd be really good. So Drow is not in an awful lot of danger of dying. So there is a risk, if you leave the Drow, that they get a slow plus a blood right and Drow dies. But Drow is pretty close to the tower. As far as the lane goes, the lane's not up here, it's not over here. It's relatively close. Drow probably has to only run to about here to get the extra bonus. And because she knows where the tree is and she knows what side he's going to come from, Drow can basically play this entire next creep wave from this area right here where there's like a T intersection in the path and like these flowers. And Drow can just shoot arrows from the left to the right. She knows where both heroes are. You don't need to be here. There's no kill potential. You don't have like an awful lot of creeps coming up on the Bloodseeker. You're still trying to get your level 3 so you can get 2 points in Maledict. So this is really a good time for you to go over here and try and stack this camp. And even if you don't stack the camp, just stand far enough out of the way that Drow is getting solo XP. So you really don't want to leech XP from the carry if you don't have to when there's almost no threat of the carry dying. Alright, so it looks like you're heading over. So the problem is the tree chased you. Okay, which isn't terrible either. So Drow is still getting solo XP, but now Bloodseeker's also getting solo XP. You pull the camp anyway, you force the tree to block it. That's a good stun, it's not terrible. It's a waste of a Maledict. Again, you're throwing the Maledicts for no reason. It's nice that you're going to get the hit. You got 2 hits, and so, he probably took whatever it is, 180 damage or something total. Pop the Clarity. So you got, yeah, there you go. You bought a Clarity, and then you're not really using your mana regen. And you've had this Mango on the stash for a long time, so it looks like you have enough money for your Windlace, and you're not buying it and sending them out, so you should buy the Windlace and send both these items out. But it looks like you're trying to save up for boots, and that's a big mistake. So the time it takes you to get all the way up to 500 gold, you could have extra speed and the extra regen and mana, emergency mana from the Mango. Try not to go straight for the boots unless you're doing really well, but you're not. Like, you don't have a kill or anything right now, and it's not a good time. Okay, yeah, don't trade. There you go. And when he's running away, you can hit. Okay, so there's no reason to go back in right now. This is bad. Okay, so looks like you're dead here. Yeah, you're definitely dead. Okay, so let's watch that again. Well, let's actually go further. So you're up here, you're trading, that's great. Tree is in this area right here. So you see the tree, you actually get scared by him, you run away, and so, you know, you guys got 2 right clicks on him, that's good, but you know Tree is standing right here in the same grove of trees. You don't have the luxury to then walk up right here. And if you do want to, you know, stun and try and start a combo on the Bloodseeker, go right through here. Like for some reason, you end up running the long way. So rather than coming straight up through here and then stunning, you end up walking in front of where you know the tree is, and then you get jumped right there, which is pretty obvious. Like the tree would have to be oblivious and, you know, not looking at his map to miss this play here, because you're basically right in front of where he's still trying to hide, and you're giving them a free spot to stun you and or not stun you, slow you. So yeah, that was just unfortunate. Again, same thing, you got a Maledict first, but you know, it was a nice idea, the way you tried to get the stun combo off, but I mean, look at this. So after your entire combo, you know, you ran up, you did get the stun on him, you did get the Maledict, and Bloodseeker has like literally 100% life. So he's still life stealing off the creeps so well. The life steal is over here, right? Wait, where did... Yeah, okay, so the life steal is moved now, which is good. And so he's getting the healing from these creeps, and so really the time you want to do this is if you know Drow is ready, Drow has, you know, her multi-shot, because that gives you the bonus. Drow shouldn't be getting Gust this early. Drow doesn't want to. That's purely defensive, and so hopefully the Drow wants to try and max out her offensive abilities here. You want to wait until you have a good number of creeps, and the tree can't be right there to protect them. And if for some reason the tree is way out over here, then that's a good moment to run in, try and get your hits. And even if you don't, even if you run up towards the Bloodseeker like this, and you're right here, Bloodseeker has to play a little scared, and maybe he misses a last hit here or a last hit here. You know, you just kind of positioning right here where you threaten the combo also keeps him from getting those last hits, because again, you should be maledicting first, and Bloodseeker is basically just trying to dance around and dodge your maledict. And you're landing them because you stun him first, but you're missing a lot of damage because you trade the stun for the riskier skill shot. Alright, so let's see what items you have. So you still don't buy the boots, or still don't buy the windlace. Okay, there you go. You got a windlace, you got another clarity. I don't know why you did that. You don't need it. Well, you give one to Drow. That's nice. Tree should be paying attention. He should take that off with vines. But if he doesn't, that's good. 25, so you could have pulled that wave back. That's not a big deal. Nice double deny. I don't know if you guys talked that over a voice, but that was really good. So now, again, we're at one of these points where, you know, you're just kind of hanging around. Drow knows where Tree is. She's well aware. If Drow plays sort of in this bottom sector here, and if Drow sort of stays right down here and last hits going this way, she knows that the Tree isn't going to have enough room to catch up to her and slow her for a combo. So I don't know why I keep doing that. So this is one of those times where you want to go back to either pulling or trying to stack. Let Drow get that solo experience. But right now, you know, you're basically helping her try to deny, which is, you know, it's nice, but you don't really need that. All right, again, bad spot. The tree's coming up behind you. You need to bail, and you waste your Maledict again for nothing. You know, the Bloodseeker is going to heal up, and it's not going to be enough. And see, the tree running across all the way, you know, this far across the map means Drow has enough time to get back to the lane. Drow's not going to die there. If for some reason she takes a lot of damage, you should still have a salve to be able to heal her. This is bad for you. You need to get back to the lane. Back to the lane. No, see, you're running the wrong way, so you need to be running over here diagonally. The longer you run away from the lane, the worse it gets. Okay, this is why you would need a magic stick right here, but that's good. Throw a Maledict right here. You need to use that Maledict on him. All right, run this way. Run to the left. Left. There you go. Maledict him. Okay, so you missed the Maledict. That's unfortunate, but this works out. Okay. Well, so you trade supports. Not the worst thing in the world. If you had landed the Maledict while Bloodseeker was getting hit by the tower and by Drow, I think Drow could have killed the core instead of the support. But you kept running below, which was okay. But the thing is, when you run through these trees here, Bloodseeker has vision of you. He has that thirst thing, so you're not actually hiding from him. He sees you the entire time. You need to be denying these creeps right here. So those are free. Yeah, there you go. Good denies. All right, you got a salve. That's good. Okay. So this salve purchase is excellent. Going for the windlace instead of trying to save up for boots, also excellent. Buying 4 clarities. That's not good at all. So you added another mango, so now you're up to 3. I don't think you've actually used any of these mangoes. I haven't seen you like emergency top up the drow yourself. And there's just way too many clarities here. So these clarities cost what? 50 each, so that's 200. So you could have either had, you know, your boots instead of your windlace, or that 200 could go into a magic stick and 2 branches. You could put the clarity in your backpack because you know you don't need it active, and then you could have either a magic stick in this spot or something else. You're buying way too many mana items. You've got the mangoes in case there's an emergency and you need an extra stun to, you know, make a play. And you can have 1, maybe 2 clarities, but 4 is absolutely too many. This is a huge waste of your gold right now. You don't have enough time to run around, and you still haven't blocked this this small camp or the large camp here. So the Treant has realized that the lane is playing too close to Drow's Tower, and so the Treant is starting to side pull into this hard camp here. This should have been blocked at minute 0, and it should be reblocked at minute 6 here. So you should be putting your second sentry on this camp, because again, Drow is the kind of carry that just wants to sit in the lane all day and free farm and not get too worried. But at this point, your wave is going so far up that, you know, rather than playing back here in this nice safe area, for the first time, it looks like Drow's going to take the next creep wave probably up here in this gap where the sidewalk starts to change. So this is an extremely bad area because the tree has 2 good patches of forest to come out of and slow the Drow. Drow doesn't have a silence, and then once they throw the combo, Bloodseeker and Tree have enough levels that they're going to be able to kill her. So this entire area is just unplayable for the Drow in lane, and it's mostly because the tree is starting to pull the hard camp here. So don't buy this many clarities and then play more aggressively on this side. So, you know, rather than standing in the lane with the Drow where you're both trying to double deny, play on the side. Give the Drow extra vision, see what's going on over here. Don't sap as much of the Drow's XP, and then sentry block this camp if it's a lane where you want the enemy wave to push into your side and even into the tower. Even if you side pulled this wave or this camp every single time you got, that wouldn't be terrible, because Drow is happier to last hit under tower here than the Bloodseeker is. So there's really no downside to over pulling this lane. You can't over pull this lane because, you know, they don't have the heroes where they want to dive under tower. If they do dive, you use Maledict, and the Maledict plus the tower hits kills them. You stun them, and then the tower gets 2 or 3 extra hits, and then you kill them. And so, you know, this tower is like an unplayable area simply because you're a Witch Doctor, and you're not using that advantage. All right, back to game. Alright, and so now while you're here, you might as well soak some of that XP up because, you know, these creeps are killing each other. This is a good pull if you get it off. So, good timing. Alright, so now you're going to want to try and pull this camp into the hard camp if there's anything left. So, you did see some creeps up here fighting. Okay, good, you're going to check. Alright, there's no creeps. That's unfortunate. Alright, we'll try and deny as many as you can here. Good last hit. Good deny. Last hit. Okay, you had a chance to get that one. You were late. That's fine. Nope, too early. Too early and you missed a free last hit. Okay, so that's that dangerous area that I was talking about, the Drow. It's useful to have like a chat wheel saying when you're pulling. I don't know if you communicate it to the Drow, but she's got to play real safe when you're missing, and both the enemy heroes are missing, and she has an unfavorable creep position. You need to be denying as fast as you can. If you're not going for last hits, you need to deny as quick as you can to keep this wave into your tower for the Drow to come back. Alright, so Drow's come back in. And did Drow just cancel her TP? Okay, so I don't know why. I don't think there's a gank coming. I think that was a misclick, but you're Drow. Okay. Well, this is your lane now, so yeah, go ahead and get those last hits and denies. Looks like Drow is running all the way back to lane.
That's no good.
That's really unfortunate. Okay. And again, Treant just pulled another wave into this camp right here. So you're going to miss a whole nother creep wave now because of where the Treant put it. You really need to... So while you're here, and this is sort of more of a high-risk play now, Drow's out of lane. Drow doesn't gain XP. The Bloodseeker is taking all the XP from this wave. There's nothing you can do. He's just going to passively heal with Lifesteal, and he's just going to get this wave for free, and he's not going to let it run into tower, because he's an offlaner that doesn't need to let them run into. So like, if this wave went all the way to tower and then died there, then it would be okay, because then your lane equilibrium reset a little bit. But Bloodseeker is going to personally tank this wave, eat all the damage from the little creeps, and then overheal it because he's going to right-click them again. You need to be within XP range of this camp, so your creeps, and by your creeps I mean the dire creeps that you get XP from, are dying somewhere in this area, and neutral creeps are dying right here in the area too. So you need to be playing kind of right about here in this corner. You don't have to go for any of these last hits, but by hiding back here in the lane, you're not even getting the experience from here. This is too far, you're way out of experience range. You need to be like right here, kind of dancing on the backside of this woods. You need to see where the treant is, see if he's going to come in and try and get a slow on the drow or whatever, or if he's putting down more vision. And you need to just make sure that you soak up what little XP there is while the drow is out of range and is unable to get it herself. Let's see what the levels are. Experience per minute. Alright. So Drow's not doing so well at all. Okay, that's a good spot for a stun there. Okay, so while the Drow is using her skill shot and there were very few creeps there, that was a perfect spot for you to go for your combo. You also got a point in Voodoo. This is not good at all. Maybe you got it just because the Drow died. You should absolutely have a second point in Cask. So the Cask doubles the number of bounces, you get more damage. But really the important part about the double number of bounces is that when you've got a small number of people, when you Cask the first person and then Maledict him, or better yet, Maledict him and then Cask, you're not just getting one bounce of 75, one bounce of 75. If you have 4 bounces of 100, you're probably getting 2. So rather than going from just 75, you're jumping all the way to 200 damage. And that's huge, especially when your Maledict is going to burst, out of that 224, so that's 48. So it's going to be 200 plus 48 times 3. So that's roughly, 450 damage? So you could do 450 damage if you had 202. But instead you elected to take this healing. The Drow doesn't really need it. Drow still has 5 of her 7 starting tangos. Drow doesn't have a salve. You don't have a salve. Oh, you do have a salve now. That's good. So you don't need this healing anymore. I understand you bought an extra clarity. Okay, so this used to be 4-3, now it's 5-3. So you keep buying extra clarities even though you're not using them. So that's really bad there. That's a waste of money. And you should not have a point in Voodoo yet. This should be 202. The mana cost here is just going to prevent you from, you're basically going to constantly try and use these clarities, which I guess is good because you're, getting some value out of them. Because right now this is 250 wasted gold. You could basically have Tranquil Boots if you hadn't bought all these clarities. And then you basically have much less kill potential now because you don't have 2 points in your stun. Alrighty. Alright, so right there, you need to Okay, so that's a point where the Drow is coming up, the Bloodseeker is taking damage from all these creeps, and there are no enemy creeps, so your stun is going to go straight to him. It's fine that you're not, throwing the attack yet, and you just threw the right click, but you need to stay close. You need to throw that right click, stay on the back side of this tree so that he can't see you, and then you need to Maledict and stun, and then the Drow can throw the split shot onto him after that. And if you had done that, if this play right here was you Maledict, you stun, and then she nukes, or even if you do it your way and you do the stun and then the Maledict, that's probably a kill right here. But you're about to miss your chance right now because, yeah, you're dancing away. Stun. Nope, no stun, no nothing. Okay, now it's too late. So now tree is back. Now there are way too many creeps here, and there's no chance. Deny. Okay, good. Get out of the way. You need to get out of this creep wave. So you're basically fighting your Drow for experience. You're soaking up her XP here. The tree is off, on the side doing pulls. He's getting neutral camp experience, and he's ready to jump in and slow the Drow at any second from the side. Because you're not playing either side of the lane, you don't have that extra vision, so you are providing the same amount of vision that Drow and the neutral creeps already are. Whereas if you position yourself like right here behind this tree, you would also have vision up this alley, you'd have vision down this alley, and you'd give the Drow a little bit more the safety net of where she can play. So yeah. Okay, here we go, play over here. See, you saw the tree flash, so you know tree's here. Okay, so when you came up onto this side of the tree, on this side tree, treant flashed over here. So you actually knew that the treant was out of place, but now this is a bad spot because you're going in on the Bloodseeker while the treant is close enough to help. So this probably doesn't end well. Alright, Rupture, because Bloodseeker got level 6 before you guys. This is not good. Okay, so the Death Prophet might have not even been needed, but it definitely secured it. I think the Drow is still dead, even if Death Prophet didn't show up there, though. So that's kind of unfortunate. So now, yeah, your lane stage is over. The Death Prophet and the 3 of these guys are going to take your tower. And I think after this, I remember Drow takes the off lane and starts farming top. So your laning phase is done. The Bloodseeker getting level 6 early was an issue. So the level 6 power spike for most offlaners is really big. And if your carry doesn't have as many levels, you're really hurting them. So you definitely sapped too much experience. I'm getting the damn ghost sound here. Just gonna get away so I don't hear the damn ghosts anymore. Okay. And the clarity purchases were a little iffy, so again, now you've got 300 gold in the bank, and you've got 250 gold tied up in clarities that you're not going to use. You guys have lost your lane for the rest of the mid game. You're probably going to play around the tier 2. You're not going to have time to stand around in clarity, or if you are, you're not going to be doing position 5 stuff. We're going to need you to stack some camps for the drow, farm the dead lane if the Mars isn't here, that kind of thing. So you could actually have your full tranquil boots right now. If you didn't buy all these clarities. And the thing is, the clarities aren't even as valuable because you also have 3 mangoes. So you have 2 sources of mana regen. If you had no clarities at all and this was 0 and you had tranquil boots, you wouldn't have mana problems because you would still have 3 mangoes here, so you could juice yourself back up to 300 and you could cash your combo again even if you were completely out of mana. So you've got too much protection here on these, and you never got to use the salve. So Drow has died twice in lane now. So Drow died twice. Drow probably still has 5 tangos. So you gave Drow an extra tango. Drow started with 7, but she's died twice, holding 5 tangos and you holding a salve. Probably because you didn't have the salve early and there was some bad positioning. So a lot of times if there's a fight in an exchange, if the support is close enough, you can save the Drow, or at least end the fight and scare the other guys off, and then that gives you time to salve the Drow and then she comes back in. But twice now she's died, where she hasn't even had enough time to get her health back up. These tangos aren't dying because she's not the tangos aren't being eaten because Drow isn't taking slow damage over time where she thinks she needs to eat the tangos. She's basically going from 100 to 0 in a couple seconds. The Bloodseeker isn't trading well. Drow has the range attack from behind the creep, so Drow can freely harass the Bloodseeker in lane. If Drow's right here, the creep wave is here, Bloodseeker runs up to get a hit. Drow has plenty of time to decide if she wants to hit the Bloodseeker, if she wants to hit a creep, if she wants to deny our creeps. She has plenty of time to do that, and then she can keep doing it while the Bloodseeker has to run around being a melee hero. So there's no reason for her to slowly take damage over time, and so that's why she still has all this, and you have to be there to save her when she goes from 100 down to 10% or something, and then hopefully you can save her so that she doesn't die and have to walk back to lane. Alrighty, well that is enough of that. I'm going to move on to the position 4 review.